So you guys been wanting me to change the theme song sound quality, but I'm gonna keep the same song. So here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Just how she plays them, and she does that. She does it with the cat. Does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. Hopefully that fixed the audio. Crazy Cat does not own any of these pictures or books or pictures. I use them under fair use for educational purposes, so the people who watch them learn a little bit something when they do it. Hopefully that fixed the audio. I only did all those years ago. No, I don't want to do this. I'm scared of this thing. Please move it. Hi everyone, Martha here. So, finished watching Ironheart. I watched one episode yesterday and I watched the other two today. So, it looks like that they're mostly just having it in chunks. That they're coming, one comes out this week, 3 come out this week, and 3 comes out next week, and then we're done. That's what the check is. So I'm just thinking that Disney just wants to, since it took so long for these to get released, because really this show should have come out around Wakanda Forever, because people might forget who she is since so long ago that movie came out. But wasn't it like 2 to 3 years ago that movie came out? But it was, I would say the first episode is pretty, I'd say with all 3 of them would like being like a 7. Here, they're not real. So, let's get started with the spoilers. So, you haven't watched it, go and watch it on Disney Plus. It would take about 3 hours, because each one of them is at least 46 minutes, and the last 2 are 55 minutes, so at least about 3 hours for you to finish. Anyway, so the first one is that Ree is in MIT, and apparently they don't like the fact that she is doing Tony's stuff. They accuse her of doing plagiarism, and she gets expelled, and then she has to go home. She rides her she gets to make sure the suit comes with her, so they don't get to use it themselves. You find out that both of her stepdad and her best friend were killed in a gangster drive-through, and so she misses both of them. So she's staying with her mom and she's in her room, and I guess she makes a version of her best friend by accident as her AI, and she does freak out about it. But I just really think they should have had like Natalie show more scenes of her before they said that she's dead, because they only like showed like 2 or 3 scenes of her in the first episode, and they say that she got killed. But I guess it's kind of, they just had a lot happening in it. And then she gets hired by a bunch of criminals, mostly a guy who is wearing a hood that is a little bit similar to the one that Doctor Strange has, except for it's not as magical. It doesn't act like the magic carpet. It like gives him tattoos and like makes him like show like his veins or something. That's what it looks like it does, and it hurts when it does to him. Well, when it does that to him, and so his cousin John is worried for him. He wants him to stop using it, and so we have pretty much everything here. Not only the diversity stuff. I mean, we got somebody who's good with computers. 2 are good with fighting. Almost good with arson. So they have one person wants to stop being a criminal, who is like Obadiah Stane's son, I guess, because we find out in the last episode that he is Obadiah Stane's son, and so he ends up quitting, and so Reed is the one who has to replace him, and they test her by having her by having the elevator that she's in breaks down, and she has to get it out before like fills up with gas that would probably kill her. And she ends up breaking Stewart's record. And after that, they break it into like this tunnel that has flying cars, I guess. It kind of reminds. So what? I don't remember like them having like flying cars and this stuff, but now this they do. I know this is supposed to be like a couple years in the future, but I thought it was only a few years, not that far. But I guess it. And Hood can turn into. That is what. Let me get the characters' names up. Okay, so we got Parker, who's the one who's inside the hood, and he ends up being invisible and telling her to like let them use their tunnels as their safe zones and let them have like 6 figures money. And then they have to do another one where they had burned down a guy's mushroom house. And I guess John figures out that Reed wants to get part of the hood because one of them tries on the suit. Dominus Throne, I think it's her name is the one who's is the arsonist. Starts the mushrooms on fire. She tries the hood on for like a couple minutes, and she like feels weird, and so she wants to try to analyze it. And one of them gets then gets like killed or mugged. But she ends up. Reed helps Stewart with the cut she has on his hand, and this is when he tells him that she hears out that he's Obadiah's son because she sees his ashes in a Ziploc bag, since he didn't exactly have the best relationship with his dad, since his dad was a bad guy. And he tells her that he did not die in a plane crash like I guess the world was told. He died killing Tony Stark. Trying to kill Tony Stark. So, John ends up getting killed. And then Parker wants to... Why did that happen? Like yelling at the cloak, which I guess is supposed to be the Magistro? That one guy who we keep on hoping that's in these shows, but because I'm looking at the characters and I guess he's gonna be in here, and that's who I guess he's talking to. But Reed's the one who left him because he tried to kill her by stabbing her, since she had a piece of a Parker's cloak or piece of Parker's hood. So he tried to kill her, and he ends up leaving. And Reed ends up leaving him inside of the greenhouse, which is burning down and filling up with carbon dioxide gas. So he ends up dying. And Parker doesn't know that it's technically Reed's fault. Reed has like at least 2 different panic attacks during this episode. When she's in the shed where her stepdad and her best friend died, she like relives the moment, and then she also has a panic attack when she realized I just killed someone by leaving him there to die. So that's what happens in these 3 episodes. A lot. I think they should, if they were gonna shove it out as much as this, they should have made a movie, but they would have to like cut down a couple of things first because how long it is. But I think they could have done this with them. They could have done a movie instead. But I think it's fine for what it is. It is a bit weird that she's working with criminals and she wants to do good, because I don't know if Tony would approve of that, but it's the only way for her to get money, I guess, since she she's not a millionaire like Tony was. But everything else is good in here. So not much happens. So we'll see what happens next week with it, and see how it ends. So I'll see you guys later. Like, favor, and subscribe, and bye-bye.